Hello everybody, PsyStarcraft here with another STARBOW commentary. This is going to be a Zerg versus Protoss. Once again, I know how much you guys just love Zerg versus Protoss. On Fighting Spirit, I believe it to be. My opponent is going to be Wonkman once again. You guys saw him in a previous video. He actually stopped me somewhat well. I feel like I could have had leverage in the early game, but a little bit of missed micro against some storms kind of ruined that. But this is going to be a pretty long ZvP. I don't spoil the replay banner in the bottom right. As you can see, I have the overlay for that, or I should. Sigh. Come on, have an overlay. But you can see the timer on the YouTube video, so played this guy a couple times. He's a very strong player, probably high master. I feel like he could even be grandmaster if he played the game more, but he doesn't ladder too much, probably for the same reason I don't, just because the game is just a complete bore, and I just think it's so flawed nowadays. But anyway, ZvP should be a lot of fun. And, you know, my ZvP strategy has basically just evolved into, you know, just 5-hatch Hydra. Probably skip the mutas. I feel like coursers are just so strong, and mutas, I don't know, muta control is a bit weird. They stack up nicely, but then they kind of have a mind of their own when you try to command them, and it's very inconsistent. And so I've been working on just my Hydra build, and, you know, transitioning into hive tech, and definitely lurkers. So lurkers is still something I'm kind of struggling with, really, to be honest. Not with like controlling them or anything like that, but just getting them, basically. Getting lurkers, remembering that I have a gas sink in this game, and that they're a very good positional unit, and that I should get them a lot more. So that's going to kind of be a small theme of this game, is what happens when I get lurkers and what happens when I don't get lurkers. So keep that in mind. Looks like we are seeing a cannon being built, but no, he actually ends up canceling it for some reason. Yeah, he actually played me a game before this, and he ended up cannoning my natural, and it worked. So maybe that's why he canceled it. So he just lost 25 minerals. Yes, my Overlord was about to scout it anyway because, you know, like I said last game, he cannoned me, so I was pretty suspicious of it. So cancellation of that cannon. Already I have a 25 mineral advantage. Look at that. I've lost 12 minerals from the cancellation of my extractor, but that's for a purposeful reason. And he's lost 25 minerals by canceling his cannon. Oh yeah, so we are seeing me scouting in one wrong direction, and this Overlord is going to be scouting him in the proper direction, so I'm going to be sending this guy back. Probably think about preparing my third pretty quick here. Spawning pool is finishing, as well as my natural hatchery. Notice how I transfer drones until I'm only at 9, because like I said in previous videos, I feel like one drone per mineral field is, you know, good, and then after that you start hitting diminishing returns. Granted, you probably still want, you know, like 14 or 15 or so, but it's still something I need to look into. 14 or 15 on like a 9 field. So I'm saying he's doing a forge first opening, so I feel no hesitation taking a third base, and looks like he's going to be trying to block this with his probe. Yes, he does just that, and 2 lings and a drone can almost out DPS the production of a pylon, but not quite. So this is going to be a bit of a nuisance, denying my hatchery for a little bit, gas going up, but I was saving up a little bit of larva just so I could build that hatchery. So I'll just be making drones instead while I take down this pylon, and he's going to force a cancellation. Or I'm going to force the cancellation of that. He's not quite going to be able to get in there to get another pylon down. I'm going to shoot his probe away. So the late gas is something I've been kind of toying with. I'm not sure if it's advantageous or not, but it just seems like you need minerals so badly as a Zerg, just for the third base, for the macro hatch, for the queens, for lings, for drones. So I've been getting the gas very late, and especially when you see a forge, I don't feel like there's any need to get a gas any faster than that. Now you can see a Protoss, on the other hand, he's getting 2 gas right away, whereas I just started mining out of 1. So remains to be seen. Let me know what you guys think. Any of you are experienced with STARBOW, let me know. And we are seeing a single zealot coming out. This is not too uncommon, so I did produce a couple more lings. I'm now up to 6 lings, so I feel like I'm responding pretty perfectly to what he can be sending at me. Now, one debatable decision I have made this game is expanding towards my opponent right here, but I feel like expanding towards your opponent isn't as bad in STARBOW as it is in Brood War, because warpins don't really exist until the late game. So this would have been a fine third to take, but it just seems so much further from my natural, so I'm actually okay taking this natural. It does open me up for a lot of different types of drop play, for Stargate play, as you're seeing here. If he wants to go for Sentinels, we're seeing a little bit of both, so we'll see how taking this third base near him comes into play. If we check out the harvest count, much better than what we saw in that previous TT1 game where the harvester count was so lopsided early on. We're seeing 28 to 23, so my harvester count much better this game than it was last game. We are seeing a transfer of drones. Like I said, I like to keep one drone per patch. So I am going to be moving some of my drones to this third base. As we can see, it's becoming saturated very fast. And then I can oversaturate each of the mineral fields once each of them has, you know, the ideal number of drones. So we are seeing a Corsair on the way. We're seeing muscular augments, which is Hydra's speed. This Overlord's just kind of chilling. He's like, you know what? I don't care if you're attacking me. I'm just going to sit here like a man and take it. Look at that. That is the face of determination. You will not die, Overlord. You are doing just fine. Stay up. No, don't go. Oh, poor guy. I neglected him. The poor Overlord. I didn't know Corsairs did explosive damage. That's not normal. 5 damage? Wait, that doesn't mean they do 2.5 to mutas, does it? That doesn't sound normal at all. Huh, I wonder if that's the case. Well, maybe we'll find out. I'm not sure if I'm getting mutas this game. They actually do 6 damage to overlords. Okay, this is really weird. That's not accurate at all. So, obviously this game still needs some fine-tuning because damage numbers are not indicative of what is actually the case. We are seeing 3 cannons, and the reason for these 3 cannons is because Wonkman is going for more harass-based play. He's obviously going for some Reaver drops right here. He sees my Hydra Den out, and so on. He wants to make sure he stays alive while he gets in this harassment damage, and annoying harassment damage it is, man. Taking down 3 overlords. These slow Hydras just now becoming fast, actually a little while ago. Going to be shooing these Corsairs away. So the best way I've found to deal with Corsairs like this is basically get a group of spores and rally all your overlords in between it. So at first I'm going to have 2 spores and I'm just going to rally all my overlords there. I am getting overlord speed. Looks like Wonkman just about ready to prepare for a Reaver drop. We are seeing the Warp Prism speed as well as a Warp Prism. Only 1 Reaver though, so not seeing any Chrono Boost of this Warp Prism, which is kind of surprising. There we go. Now we're going to be seeing that. So a little delayed on the Chrono Boost. He's going to be checking for a 4th base. Obviously, he knows I have a 3rd base. Harvester count now favors him slightly because I'm trying to respond to these Corsairs. But, you know, 35 Harvesters on 2 bases is actually a lot of saturation. So we're seeing 16 and 13, which is 2 and 1 below 2 minerals per patch. So maybe a little oversaturation. All I'm really trying to get at is shouldn't be too discouraged by that harvester count, especially when I'm only mining off of 1 gas. So you can see my gas still isn't looking too bad. I'm checking for a 3rd with these lings. Need to be starting my ling speed pretty soon here. And again, the reason for the lack of gas is I want to get 1 macro hatch at my main, 1 macro hatch at my natural, and now we're seeing a 2nd gas on the way. So we are seeing a Zealot drop. Actually, I think I just completely missed the Reaver drop. I'm sorry about that, you guys. So we are seeing the Reaver drop. Hydras are responding pretty well. He's going to be picking up that Reaver, moving into the main. 1 Spine taking down the Zealot, as well as these Hydras. Is he going to get any damage done in the main? No, it looks like I just had a couple Hydras pop out, and this Warp Prism is almost definitely going to go down. Reaver coming out. Oh, getting recalled before it can shoot the Scarab. Recall by the Nexus. The Nexus actually has a recall ability. It costs 50 energy. It can recall 5 units, and you see there he was able to salvage that Reaver with the recall, so not an effective drop. So I would say I have a pretty good advantage at this point. He's got 41 Harvesters, so he definitely wants to prepare a 3rd with this number of Harvesters. Otherwise, not only is he using supply, which, you know, he has to build more pylons. Oh no, what are you doing, Lings? Not only is he using supply, he's also using money. These Corsairs, oh, running into some Hydras, losing 3, almost 4 of these Corsairs. And I'm taking a sizable advantage, still denying his 3rd just by, you know, the presence of the Hydras. He just doesn't feel safe taking that 3rd. And if we check out the saturation, 15 is about a good number. 1 or 2 more would be good there, and a couple more here would be good, as well as the gas eventually. So we can see the Lurker Den on the way, as well as Roaches. So at this point, I feel like I have a good Hydras force. I'm denying his 3rd. Let me get some Roaches so I can burrow and you know, try to take down any High Templar. We can see a lot of cannons coming up. I might have been able to take this out, actually. No, he's got 2 Reavers, so maybe not the best decision to move into that. I'm able to take down the Forge, which possibly, which might have been upgrading. I didn't actually check to see if it was upgrading. More Reaver drops coming from Wonkman. Should have gotten some Spores or some Spines, but I didn't. An Enraged Queen is going to be able to take on this Reaver. No, it's going to force an escape, though, so that's one good thing the Enraged Queen was able to do. So there is a little bit benefit to not remembering to inject with your Queen. She has lots of energy to enrage. Got a little bit creep spread connecting my bases just for some vision, and we've got Wonkman going for that Templar tech. We are seeing that Zealot speed, which is also important against Hydras, and Hydras just kind of hanging out right here. So I'm not doing anything decisive, and again, Lurkers, still not seeing play. I have that lurker dead. I could be doing lurker drops. I could be doing hydra drops. Look how vulnerable his main is. Any type of drop in this situation, considering he has almost no units, would just be so damn strong at this point. But drop play was not a thing in Heart of the Storm. It really wasn't. So it's just not on my mind to get drops, and lurkers, you know, I still struggle with remembering to get lurkers too. So we are seeing a Viper Nest, Burrow for the roaches, and Link Speed. We're seeing him just be annoying with some more Corsairs. We're seeing a couple War Prisms, which actually might have been scouted by that Link. I don't remember if I actually saw that or not. Spire on the way as well, so just kind of getting various techs, a couple Corsairs trying to take down these Overlords. Does he have +1 attack? No, he does not. Corsairs trying to take down these Overlords. Not going to happen, though. Even got some protection against my mineral line here. But here come the 2 War Prisons. Is this hatchery going to finish? It doesn't look like it. I should be able to cancel this. And he's going to be dropping on my 4th. Gat's going to be going down. Am I going to cancel this 3rd is the question. And these Hydras just aren't doing a whole lot. You don't. It's not good to have this amount of units and, you know, not have them at least spread around the map or be doing drops with them or something like that. There's the cancellation of that. Using a couple more Scarabs, so that's not too bad. And trying to cut off these War Prism with these Hydras. Don't know if that's going to happen. Looks like he's going to be running. Oh, he's going to pick up the Zealots. So even worrying about his Zealots, trying to save those. Going to be trying to cut off the path over here. Are the War Prisms going to be moving into the Hydra path? Oh, go back, Hydras, go back. Yes, he does see them. It's pretty important to focus your APM on 2 shuttles that are so full of so much resources. And still, drop play would just be so incredible right now. He does have storms, but he's barely got 1 storm per Templar, so if you have a sizable lead against a Protoss player in this situation, he's hurling up, let this be a lesson to you. Get some drop play, because what I'm kind of doing right now, I'm sort of letting him back into the game. 2-base toss against 3-base Zerg. Just like in Heart of the Swarm, it can be very powerful with Storm, with Reavers, with good management of your units, with turtling up. If you can eventually take a 3rd, that's pretty dangerous, even if I'm on like 50 bases. 3-base Protoss is so scary with Storm. If you don't have the right Zerg composition, you know, Dark Swarms, Lurkers, stuff like that, can spell bad things. We are seeing more drop play. Oh, and some storms going down on the drones. So many drones dying. Holy shit. And I gotta say, one thing this game doesn't have is it's notifications that you're being stormed. So I see those storms and I figure, well, maybe I can go in and attack. I've got some Vipers, so maybe I can abduct some stuff. But this isn't really happening. Meanwhile, there's a drop in the main, so I'm basically begging him to get back into the game, and I'm still not noticing the lack of workers here because I was so busy with this attack. I wasn't watching the minimap. I'm still on the carpet, you guys, so I'm still on the floor of my girlfriend's apartment, so it's very difficult to multitask when you're worrying about your back and your neck hurting like fucking hell. So more Overlords going down. He does have the +1 attack on these Corsair. They take down Overlords so fast. Oh my gosh. I feel like they do too much damage or something. It's hard to say. He has morphed this into an Archon. These High Templar just kind of chill, and I was able to pick off the War Prisons, it seems. But will these Corsairs go down? Oh, he's going to lose a couple more Corsairs. Nowhere else to really go. Lots of Hydras taking them down. His Templar's going to go down as well. Is he going to get a Storm off? Oh, he can get a Storm off if he tried. No, it's not going to happen. So great storms, and still not realizing that the drones on this base were destroyed because, like I said, there's no notifications from storms, so it's kind of annoying. I think part of that played a role in him staging what seems to be a comeback. So we'll see. We do have an engagement here, but Storms, Reavers, both really good against Hydra. We have 1 abduct, 2 abduct, 3 abducts. All of these Reavers being taken down almost instantaneously. Going to be moving in, but there's so many cannons. He doesn't have any Storms, but there's so many cannons. Although these Hydras might have been able to take down these cannons. I maybe underestimate the effectiveness that cannons have against Hydras. 1.75 speed, 20 damage. I just assumed he had Storm waiting, but he actually didn't have any Storm at all. That could have been it. I could have had a great chance to take down his base. Lots of cannons going down, and his third about to finish. Meanwhile, my 4th finishing as well. We are equal in Harvesters, but he's only got 2 bases, so he's definitely oversaturated. These Corsairs coming in from behind. These Hydras rolling up the ramp, but there's so much Storm here, and he's got some... Oh my god, there's so much Storm! Where are the Lurkers? Look at all this gas! I have 0 Lurkers to be found. So many Hydras dying to just 2 or 3 Templar. It's absurd how bad I am doing right now, considering I've been on 3 base and 2 base all game. considering I've had a map control. I've even got a 4th base going up. And let this be another lesson. Storm is very good. Don't let yourself get stormed like this. Drops, very good. Drops, lurker is good. Using some of your 2200 gas, good. You'd think seeing that gas would prompt me to make some lurkers, but I'm pretty bad, so not doing that. I'm trying to hammer it into my skull by casting games like this, so he's still on 2 base. I was able to deny the base. He's getting so many kills on my overlords. Oh, these overlords are just sitting duck. This really shouldn't be that hard for me to convert. Jesus shit fuck. Basically, I'm making fun of myself being terrible because I definitely have a lead in this game, and I'm kind of blowing it. These overlords just food for these Corsairs once again. So many of them going down. He doesn't care about 2 measly spores. Trying to enrage, but kind of slower reaction time, losing so many overlords. And that is huge. Like in STARBOW, it actually matters when you lose overlords because you don't have a bajillion minerals and you're not floating a bajillion gas. So that's really annoying seeing these Corsairs do that. And there's just non-stop coming in and out. We got 5 kills, 5 kills, 6 kills, 2 kills. And those are all overlords, you guys. That's almost 20 overlords. It's more than 20 overlords, I'm sure, between all of them. More spores coming up. A couple of overseers because some DTs were seen somewhere. So many deaths. All those overlords dying. And you're seeing, I'm like, no, I don't want any more of this. Let me just make a bunch of spore crawlers. And there's not really a good response to Corsair when they get at this point. Scourge just get melted instantly. Vipers are terrible. Ensnare, I think Viper's just a very bad unit in STARBOW. I don't see any usefulness for it. Not in ZvP anyway. Ensnare is just too slow of a projectile. It doesn't help against Storm. It doesn't help against Reavers. It's I don't know. Remains to be seen maybe, but I just don't feel too strongly about the effectiveness of Vipers. A couple DTs wandering across the map. I do have detection at my 3rd, do have detection at my natural, but I don't have any at my main, except for all these spores. He might be able to get in there, but still we're seeing... Ooh, what is this? Tunneling Clouds allows drone zerglings... Oh my god, they can move while burrowed! I forgot about that upgrade. It allows all the ground units to move while burrowed, even Ultralisks. What? That's awesome! Holy shit, I did not know about that upgrade. And I still have no ventral sacks, which is kind of silly. So we did see those DTs go somewhere, I believe. I don't know where they went. They might have gone to the... Yeah, they went to this space, attacked the spines a little bit. Didn't get a whole lot done. My opponent's still struggling to secure his 3rd base. Looks like it is secure, actually. We're seeing 8 Ultralisks on the way. Chitinous plating, armor, melee attack. We've got a Defiler mound out here. We need to see a couple Defilers. I'm basically just waiting for one giant ball of death to go take him down. But, Storm, pretty good against Hydras. Reaver's pretty good against Ultras. Cannon's good against Ultras. Ultras don't do a lot of damage in this game. You really just want them to soak up the damage. Eat up the Storms. Eat up a lot of that Zealots damage. Oh my god, I got 8 Defilers. What is happening? Could I play like any more of a dog this game? I got 8 Defilers. The Spores have very low detection range. I think that's another thing that needs to be changed. I think it's actually shorter than it was in Heart of the Swarm. Just because Overseers... Oh my god, what are you doing? Oh, the Spine and the... Oh my god, the Spine and the Overlord. Oh, what are they doing? What is... What is happening? Move out! Move out of the way! What are you doing? No! This thing... There we go. As I said in chat, there's no detection for Ultra Speed almost said there's no notifications for High Templar storms, so my harvester counts are like just suddenly low. I just check the map or check my base and it's like, wow, where'd my drones go? But anyway, 8 Defilers. I don't think I'm going to need this many Dark Swarms. These Hydras and Lings presumably going to melt so fast with these High Templar. Looks like he's moving them all to the 3rd. He does have a 4th. Oh my god, that's so many cannons. He does have a 4th coming up, so I'm going to be charging up this tiny narrow ramp with tons of Dark Swarms. Storm's probably going to go down. These Zealots just blockade. Look at how puny these damage on the Zealots, these Archons are, or these Ultras. Oh my god, Storm has such long casting range. The range on it's so long. All my units dying. 3 more Ultras on the way. Still no lurkers. Oh my god, what is this unit I'm making? It's a lurker. Holy cow. What does that unit do? We're on 3. Oh, that base is about depleted. That base is about depleted. This base is getting more defenses, but it's not mining too heavily. So some lurkers finally on the way. Now, this is something I need to do a lot more. It's cut off the reinforcements, go attack a base. But you know, I haven't really been doing that because I'm bad. And do we have drops yet? Oh, we do have drops. Am I going to drop something? Am I going to... Oh, hello, little Yeti dude. Ursidon, they're so cute. We're doing some transfers. And he's so defensive right now. Oh, and he's got an observer, but I can't snipe it if I'm paying attention. Some Dark Swarm going down on some useless lurkers, which just died immediately because, you know, I just like rushed them into the enemy. Corsairs taking down... Why don't I Plague? Oh my god, what are you doing, Psy? Ultras with Dark Swarm, no detection for the DTs. Plague not happening. Defiler's just running into everything. Oh, and I'm moving him away from these High Templar. I did force him to make Archons, which is good. Dark Swarm finally doing something, but these DTs just slicing everything up. Dark Swarm running out, and this Lurker going down. I'm so bad at this game. Why don't I get drops? Why don't I do multi-pronged attacks and get Lurkers sooner when it actually matters? Drop play would be so powerful. He's got nothing here. I mean, if I just drop on top of all of this, that'd be good. He'd be storming my Overlords, but I mean, that wouldn't be too terrible, I guess. 4 Archons still moving out, so he's now mining off of 4 bases to my what? This is my 4th, this is my 5th, this is my 6th, but 5th is just now becoming operational. And oh, we do have some Overseers. I'm doing something right, and that's producing Overseers in a timely fashion. He's got so many Corsairs. They have +2 attack. No, they don't. They do have +1 armor. Oh, these Overseers getting stutter step, microed. Oh, I still have 1 left, and he's not able to finish it off. He didn't have any Dark Templar in the vicinity anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. And we can see plenty of static D. And the cool thing about this game is, like, you can't just forget about a pylon, lose a base. Forget about a pylon, lose a base. Warping in takes much longer, and the cooldown on the warp gates is much longer than in Heart of the Swarm. So you don't feel like you're just being punished because your race isn't as good as your opponent's race. If he wants to go warp gates, yes, he can make them anywhere on the map, but there is a price to pay for that. So it just feels so much better. It doesn't feel like they can just, you know, easily just win a hatchery just like that. So, and you know, I say this having watched, you know, a lot of Heart of the Swarm even recently and trying to compare it, you know, on the spot. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. So anyway, Greater Spire on the way, which is another desperation attempt to actually get something done when all I need to be doing is making Lurkers and dropping them, but I'm not doing that. The space is mined out, so he's now on 2 mining bases, whereas I'm on 3 mining bases. Actually, maybe 3.5. No, this only has 3 patches left. Gonna be going for this base. More storms going down. I don't care about Dark Swarm. I'm just gonna A-move into you. These Overseers don't give a shit. He doesn't really have any army, just because he hasn't been mining for so long, and I've just been throwing twice as much of my army into just half as much as his army. And we can see these Corsairs just kind of flying overhead. Looks like I might finally take down this base, but here's the reinforcements. Zealots and Archons are very powerful against Ultralisks. Actually, Zealots not so powerful, but, you know, Archon's pretty powerful against Ultralisks. And while I am going to be damaging killing a lot of these cannons, get out of there, Defiler, you crazy motherfucker. It's going to remain up, and with this might be able to cancel this Nexus, though. Ultras just, they don't have a lot of damage. In Brood War, that used to be +3 attack per upgrade. We are seeing some DTs move into these bases here. Maybe snipe a Corsair? No, not quite. Decent upgrades on my Hydras. We do have a Spore and a Spine here, but that's not enough against 4 DTs, man. 4 DTs is a lot. That's a lot of damage. He is able to clean up these Ultras. Still not a whole lot going for me. No multi-pronged attacks, no follow-ups. Just me frantically trying to respond to DTs. Looks like he's going to be going to help take down these Hydras and Lings rather than go harass my base, which is probably a good decision because he doesn't have a whole lot of forces here. So we can't really say that Protoss is overpowered or anything like that. I'm just making terrible attacks and not getting Lurkers, even though I have 1600 gas this time. Why do I forget about Lurkers so often? I don't even know. 4 more Overseers on the way, just because he continues to produce a moderate amount of Corsairs just to take down the detection, kill whatever Overlords he can. Look at all these juicy Overlords just like ready to drop something, but they're not able to. It's so silly. And oh, what do we have here? No High Templar. High Templar are very slow units, so he's using them defensively at this point. not moving them out. He's got 1 there, 4 at the main, 2 at the natural, or third. This 5th base, not quite operational. His harvester count actually so low. Oh my goodness, he's only at 28 harvesters. That's terrible. Gonna be moving these Lings into these Templar. I'm okay sacrificing Lings for Storms. I just don't want to lose my Hydras. So all these Templar are going to be going down, 1 turning into an Archon. So many Zealots and Archons here, though, and no Lurkers. Oh my god, if I just had like 5 Lurkers. He has no Observers. Well, they're kind of there. They're just a little bit behind. And these Hydra's just going to stand still while I try to deal with something. I don't even know what I'm doing at this point. Who knows? I'm just kind of chilling with these Hydras. I don't mind if they die. This soldier's like, I want to kill something, but it's not going to happen. Ultra, you're terrible. So I like to lose. Oh, I think I was worrying about this. He just killed my 4th base, and yeah, that's kind of a concern. So these DT is going to be moving to my 5th base. So like I said, when I play STARBOW, I like to let my opponents back into the game by playing really terribly. So these DTs now going for the 5th base. Looks like they're going to ignore the 5th base and go for the 6th base, but this is actually less. Well, that's pretty defended too. So I can actually still mine from this if I want. It'll just be long distance mining. We have another engagement here. Lots of coursers. 1 storm going down. It's a complete whiff. Frantically trying to make more units. He's even getting shield upgrades. This is ludicrous. I'm saying I have to kill the giant Ursidon. That's how ludicrous this is. I'm saying it's ludicrous because I'm so fucking bad at this game and I can't convert it. Oh my gosh, but his harvester count's so low. Well, it's up to 37 now. He's got lots of nexi to help replenish that count. So, okay, so me saying this ludicrous, it kind of triggered a response in my head. Like, there's something I'm missing. There's something I need to be doing that I'm not doing besides making lurkers. And maybe that's, you know, defilers too. I kind of stopped the whole defiler production. You know, just making like 1 or 2 with every little army batch. That'd be fine. I don't need to make 8. I mean, 8 was definitely an accident. I didn't knowingly make 8. This is probably a misrally. No, looks like. I mean, his army still isn't even that big. I'm just not getting units. There we go. 3 more lurkers on the way. This Ursidon is just distracting me. I see like white things move on the map and they look pink, and I'm like, what am I doing? So more lurkers on the way. Finally using that gas. It's going down to 1400. Holy cow! What a concept. These bases still happily mining. Notice I'm not even worrying about gas at these bases just because that's 4 drones that I don't want to spend. Also, obviously, I don't really need gas right now. So he's rallying some drones from very far away to this base. He's trying to secure it once again with lots of cannons. He has only 2 High Templars, so this might be a very vulnerable spot for me to push in. Do I have any defilers? I don't see any defilers. However, he's only got 4 working cannons. He's got to shift his army to whatever base he can. He could actually use this recall to pull in some High Templar. That might not be a bad idea. This base mining with 2 measly drones. This doesn't even have a counter on it. That's how far away from the mineral patches it is. Oh, and we're seeing a lurker drop! We're seeing a lurker drop! Oh my god! We're seeing 7 Hydras and 4 lurkers! They're being dropped to a base with nothing in it! What a concept! And 8 more lurkers on the way as well! Is this going to be a turning point? And a queen to transfuse! Yes! Yes! Oh, and he cancels this pylon! He fears the drop may occur. Some coursers coming, trying to take down these overlords. These lurkers easily just stopping all kinds of mining in this base. Here come a bunch of zealots, but there's lurkers now. Lurkers burrowed. Spread out those lurkers. Yes, spread out those lurkers. And he's forced to run away. What a concept. Killing a base while cutting off reinforcements with that 1 unit that can burrow and attack at the same time. Where is Templar? His Templar is so slow, they're still being used defensively. He did use, I don't think he did use a recall. He's got 3 Templar here, 2 Templar here, no Templar here, but he doesn't really have a lot going for him anymore. And just like that, with 1 simple drop, I kill a base and I infiltrate his mineral lines. Look at this, I've got burrowed roaches on the high ground, cutting off reinforcements. Such a small amount of units, getting so much done. These 6 Hydras using up 1 storm, 2 storms, still alive compared to 50 million Hydras dying to everything. And now they're going to be running back to these lurkers, and the Zealots are forced to retreat. It's so crazy how positional units can be so effective compared to just A-moving into an enemy, which is kind of my forte. So we are seeing him trying to get something done, moving out to this 4th. Little does he know this 4 doesn't matter to me. It's hardly even mining anything. I'm going to choose to keep my lurkers here. Well, I'm deciding anyway. Choose to keep my lurkers here while sending back an army to deal with these units. My drones don't really want to stay alive, so I'm not going to let them. They're all going to go down. These Lings, oh, these Lings getting a jump on the High Templar. Every single one of them going down. Oh, his attention is elsewhere. Finally a mistake from Wonkman. Well, I mean, a very big, blatant mistake. I mean, I'm sure both of us are making, you know, small mistakes. I'm making a lot of big mistakes, that's for sure. But able to salvage this hatchery. Check out the hearts. There's 46 to 37. But if we check out the economy, that's the important part. I'm mining twice as many minerals as him. In Heart of Swarm, that wouldn't matter. But in Brood War, look at this money. Finally, using lurkers, I'm down to low money. And that's how it should be. You shouldn't see someone floating 8,000 minerals when they're on 6 bases, which is what I'm on right now. And that's... I think the economy of this game is just really cool. I know I just like suck this game's dick so much, but it's just so much cooler being able to spend all your money. Now I have a lot of minerals, and I can use hydras as a sink. I can use roaches kind of as a sink. Lings are so powerful in this game. I can use them as a sink, and it's just very refreshing. Very refreshing approach to a game. And he just doesn't have a lot of good storm targets. He knows where these lurkers are because of the observers, but it takes 2 storms to kill a lurker. And really, there's not a lot of clumping. I guess there's a little bit of clumping. You can get these two, so on, but not a lot of clumping. Sniping one hatchery of these DTs, trying to get something happen with these DT run-bys. Looks like he's going to be going for the Defiler Mound. Corsairs coming to intercept any Overseers that will try to have a say in the matter. These lurkers, oh, misrallied High Templar lurkers taking that down. And, oh, the Defiler Mound does go down just before that last DT gets cleaned up, and he just can't get a lot done. And just think, the only reason this is different is because I now have lurkers. Otherwise, he would happily march into a group of hydras with some zealots and some storm and just kill all of them. But it just goes to show how different this game goes when you just get a couple lurkers. The lurker drop here looks like we have a Overlord drop going maybe to his natural, probably to his main. The natural doesn't have any more mining happening. These High Templar are trying to check if there's any bases they can assault, but there really isn't. No spines here, though, so that's something that could change. Looks like, I don't know why I'm rallying all these. I think those High Templar might have died to some drones or something. Ling's rallying up here, storming his own zealots. Oh my gosh, that maybe not the most well-advised storm in the world. And we are seeing just kind of some more contain. This Defiler just consumed a couple Lings. Going to be Dark Swarming. Dark Storm lasts for what, 20 seconds. So I'm not too worried about getting my lurkers in there too fast. Meanwhile, the drop in the main. What do you know? Drops and lurkers. Another multi-pronged event occurring. And these lurkers and hydras gotta be burrowed. Burrow lurkers! Burrow lurkers! These hydras need to be focusing down the Archons, but instead they're just rallying to their deaths. Meanwhile, this base is going down easily with the force of the hydras and the Dark Swarm and the lurkers. This queen just kind of chilling like, don't kill me, please. These lurkers getting stormed. Another lurker burrowing, but still doing so much damage and stalling these forces for so long. Ultras kind of hang out, dropping the main, killing so much production. You can see all the dead buildings here. These DTs forced to clean it up. This Nexus is going to be going down. Final lurker going down here as well, but there's a lot of damage happening in the main. And the burrow. Oh, and the burrow. So he's now on 0 mining bases. If we check out his economy, he's at 32 minerals. Meanwhile, I was at 1,280 mineral production per minute. And that's going to be it. Oh my gosh, that game was fucking textbook example of the effectiveness of Storm if you let it be effective. Lurkers! Dark Swarm! Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know it's probably really frustrating, but I gotta say that was pretty funny over here, though. Thanks for watching. My neck hurts really badly. I just licked the screen.